everything is fine, fine. As I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line. You trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imani.
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And it's a new week right here on Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. It's now 7 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. I'll be taking you all the way up to the 10 o'clock hour.
We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that.
And let me say a special good night to all of you already on the live. Oh boy, I hope I don't miss out anybody. Let me see: Maria, Marilyn, Betty Ann, Gillian, Dan Raj, Jackie, Shemaine, Donna, Lisa, Devon, Rastaman. Watch, I didn't get it passed back by you, boy. The run get kind of tie up. Landon, Williams, Jakim, Olive, Leroy, Maria. I think there's another Maria. Yeah, Maria, Courtney, Ingrid. Let me see. Josette, Karen, Lisa, Antonito. Yeah, good night to you, Keisha. Good night to all of you. And remember to like and share. Yeah, I see the shares going up. Nice. That is good. Like and share the live. Like it and share it. All right. So that's over on the Facebook. Let me just take a quick look over on the YouTube. Marilyn, Baby Daddy, Oswald, Hillary, Kevin, Michelle, Clive, Gemma, Kathleen, Devon, Matthew, Denise, Shoma, Cynthia, Faitlin, Anne Marie. A special good night to all of you out there who are on the YouTube as well. Folks, remember to like and subscribe over on the YouTube. You have to like the Talking Points page and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you can see when we go live. You would see everything. You'd know that we're on and that kind of thing. All right? Nice. Yeah, so that is necessary to do. All right? Nice.
So drink your bush home if you want good health. And for real, we appreciate the free barrel.
Yeah, tonight we had to talk the things them, you know. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight.
Suck salt and
It's
drink.
a particular issue. Every time I decide to come in and deal with that particular issue, yeah, some other things coming up. And it's an important issue, you know.
In vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you not refrain. You not refrain. By the way, what will be your theme for the next campaign? It can never be about change again. And
Yeah, Stephanie, Tati, Gertrude, Gavin, Joyce, Christine. Yeah, good night to all of you.
you better wrap up $1,000 in yellow jerseys for we, or give us everything free as in the days of NNP, or else funeral for NDC. Whatever, Grenada still belongs to we. Although enough things affect us negatively, we are still blessed by the Almighty. This poem may not be liked by you, but I know you will like this poem. For
Yeah, Sean L. I am seeing Paula, Cindy, Teresa, Margaret, Leslie, hey, Duncan, cuz, what's up? Yeah, Denise, that's the other Denise, Nadia, Tasha, yeah, Janine. Good night to all of you who are joining us, all right? Nice, right. So you all know, yeah, we're getting closer and closer to independence, you know. So let me run a little independence tune in between while the numbers build. Yeah, getting closer to the number for us to start the thing, you know. Yeah. Because as I said, we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. We Papa holiday having a post-cabinet press conference. First time in months.
Where come for so much black makers of fish?
It looked like a lot of things probably happen in cabinet because they're actually having a post-cabinet press conference. Wow.
If I say she's blessed by the Almighty.
But let me inform you all of three things. One, in the morning, I believe it's around 7:45. Let me just clarify the time. Just want to make sure I get the correct time. I don't want to go and tell you the wrong time. So I want to make sure I had the right time. Nice. So Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he'll be live tomorrow morning on MTV, Meaningful Television. And that's going to be on the Rise and Shine program. So he'll be there from roughly around 7:45 a.m. So 7:45 in the morning. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he will be on live on Rise and Shine on MTV tomorrow morning. All right? So we're looking forward for that one. Everybody tell somebody. Who does say it again in Patois? We does say Sake Tang Palelo. Yeah, everybody. You hear, tell others. Nice. So Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he will be on. That's on the Rise and Shine program. That's on MTV. That's in the morning, and he's going to be there from roughly 7:45. All right, so make sure that you all tune into that one.
Mommy, oh,
And after that one, we have I still call him the Honorable Oliver Joseph. He will be on GBN to the point from 9 a.m. in the morning. Right? So you'll have the Honorable Oliver Joseph. He will be on GBN in the morning from 9 a.m. So you have Dr. Mitchell on MTV, Rise and Shine program from 7:45 a.m. Then you have Honorable Oliver Joseph. He's going to be on GBN to the point program from 9 a.m. Nice. So you have those two, and make sure you're all making notes, son. Right.
Check out the daily news.
So we're on MTV from 7:45. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, former Prime Minister, political leader of the New National Party, leader of His Majesty's opposition. Then you have Mr. Oliver Joseph, Honorable Oliver Joseph, as I still call him. He's on from 9 a.m. on GBN, and then from 8 p.m. tomorrow night, here on Talking Points, we will have with us Honorable Gregory Bowen. So we have a lot to speak about. Because remember, Mr. Bowen is the man make the announcement in relation to the 150, you know. You know, I'm still trying to understand how some people are attempting to defend what has been done. I'm still trying to figure that one out. My mind has been trying to bend to that place where it could possibly understand how these individuals could attempt to defend what has taken place there. And before I even go any further, let me say a special thank you to all of you who contacted me on Thursday night, on Friday during the day, and Friday night, all during the night. I've been getting messages on Saturday, on Sunday, and even today. Let me congratulate and thank all of you who have extended a hand of help to that young lady who called the program the other night. Because it is a sad situation. It's a situation that the young lady, she can't even go out and work because she has to be taking care of a brother who is disabled. She also has a child who is disabled, and she has another young child as well. So it is difficult for her. And I just made a call. I put it out on Facebook. I was asking for some adult diapers and so to assist. And the volume of you that called in and messaged and said, hey, pick up here, hey, pick up there, and so on. The thing with us, I know you all don't want to call your names. I didn't ask your permission to call your names, so I don't want to call your names. Right? But I am grateful, and she is grateful to the assistance that you all have lent to her. All right? And, you know, the Pampers go use out there, so we have to continue trying to help her and as many others as we can as well, because we understand the situation. Even today, I was privy to a letter today as we're speaking about the situation in this country right now. I was privy to a letter earlier today. Let me just pull that letter up on my on my thing here, because I was privy to a letter today, and believe me, I'm going to get deeper into this one. I didn't have time to do the follow-up today, where there is an individual right now who needs dialysis and who is being told that unless he comes up with a certain amount of money a month or a certain amount of money per treatment, so the minimum payment for the treatment that he has to do. And note this, for those of you that understand what kidney failure is, when you have kidney failure, you must do dialysis. If you don't do it, there is only one outcome to it. Only one. And it seems as though you keep getting these things happening with dialysis, and so when the New National Party is out of office. But let me just read what I'm seeing here. Because this individual is basically now being refused dialysis service unless they can come up with $2,500 per month. Right? Now, this is a person that has kidney problems. They have their I'm trying to remember the name or what it is, but that they embed in them so that they could do dialysis treatment and so on. So there's certain things that they can't do. And this person is being asked now that they have to pay $400 each time they come to do their treatment, or $2,500, right? They've also been told that the contributions from the Ministry of Health and the Grenada Kidney Foundation are not being included in that agreement. They're not being told this by the government of Grenada. They're being told this by the private dialysis service that's being offered. Now, the New National Party had started the process that ought to have been completed by now and operational of dialysis service available at the General Hospital. That was one of the things, together with the scanner and so on, and the upgrade to the emergency service. There was also they were setting up to ensure that dialysis can take place at the General Hospital. But here it is. I don't want to quote how much money that person has outstanding already for that company, because the amount of money that they have outstanding for that company right now that provides dialysis service, you could build a house with it. Yeah? And they have to do dialysis service every week. They have multiple times. In some instances, some people have to do it as much as 3 times and so per week. They have to do dialysis service. And this individual is being told that the assistance from the Ministry of Health and the Grenada Kidney Foundation is not being included in that. So that apart, they still have to find $2,500 per month for kidney treatment. This is something that the New National Party has always tried to focus on. Yeah, at a point in time was working along with one. I remember there was the test program where they were working along with one of the major pharmaceutical companies to offer the basic one at the General Hospital. And then with what has been done there now, to offer proper dialysis service through the General Hospital. So this individual is now in a situation where they can't pay off what they owe already. They can't get treatment unless each time they go for that treatment, they have to walk with that money. Yeah? And there are many individuals who have found themselves in the last few months in similar situations. At a point in time that you have people going through this now, these are people with families. These are people with husband and wife. These are people with children. These are people with their parents who care about them, their aunts, their uncles, their friends. And this is what people are going through in our country right now, even to the point where they, once again, and it seems to be something that always happens when an NDC government is in office. No reagent to do blood tests. Now, one person was telling me that, and as usual, I don't just take things when one person telling me something. I try to find out from as much people as possible, verify your information. So I don't know if they get today, but the last few people that I've spoken to told me that they went to do blood tests, no reagent to do blood tests. Women going to do pap smear cannot get a pap smear done because, again, no reagent. And women who are listening to this program, you all know how important doing your pap smear is. I have had friends who have died because they didn't follow up and do their pap smear on a regular basis. So you women know how important that particular test is to women. It isn't available right now. The reagents for you to do a blood test isn't available right now. So you have to find yourself now in the hands of some of the private companies that offer these services on island, if you really want to make sure you get it done, because the General Hospital seems to no longer be able to afford or have those services right now. And they can't say it's not enough money they have to do it because they found $300 and something thousand to give themselves on a yearly basis extra. So they can't say that they didn't have that money to be able to get the reagents and what is necessary for the General Hospital. Yeah? But it seems as though every time You have an NDC government, because remember, we was down this road before, Yeah. Between 2008 and 2013, you ended up in a situation, where to do simple surgeries and so, they were lacking basic things like gauze. You all forget that already, innit? That mental patients, people with mental problems, the medication for them was unavailable. And it seems as though we're heading down that road again. As I said, I didn't want to speak about it before because you just hear it from one person. You say that might be a one-off, that might be a thing. But I keep getting it again that, look, we go for blood tests, we can't get blood tests, or they go to do a pap smear, they can't get a pap smear done and that sort of thing. That is absolute nonsense. In 2023, Grenada, for that kind of thing to be happening, and even if it happens for a day or two, it's one thing, but for an extended period of time, absolute madness and nonsense. And just shows either the incompetence or the uncaring nature of the individuals who are in charge of all of that. When all you go in, all your post cab tomorrow, talk about that. And tell us what is being done to rectify that. Because you see, the NDC operates like how I used to deal with my big brothers, because I'm my parents' youngest child. So sometimes you do something, but you're blaming your big brother. Is my big brother, I ain't gonna call his name, but blaming my big brother. Anytime something happens, you're blaming your big brother who come before you. Because every time something negative happens in Grenada, the NDC always trying to blame the NNP for it. You in charge, fix it. You asked for the job. You told people that you're competent. You told people that you're capable. You told people that you had a plan. You told people everything that was wrong with Grenada, you said it. And you also said you know how to fix it. Well, by God, fix it, and don't tell me, don't talk about things like this. Because this thing, for instance, with the patient who has to do their dialysis, is life and death. Because anybody that have had family that had kidney issues knows what happens if you do not get your treatments done on time. You know what happens if you do not get your treatments and get them done on time. So don't come telling me about now you're talking about that and all. There's life and death. I listened over the weekend to Senator Gloria Thomas trying to fumble over an excuse for why they take out the $150 from, and here they take it out from, They take it out from little children who go into school. It's children that have it. They take it out from the children. They take it out from disabled people. The people who really need it, they can't go out and work because they have some sort of infirm, they can't see, they can't hear, or they're not mobile. But some people, even if they can't see, there's still one or two things they could do and so on. But generally, differently abled people, they take that payment from them. And then the elderly in our country, the people who have done everything possible to have Grenada to the stage that it's at right now, who are responsible for all of us here. Those people, some of them in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, and then you have some of the nonsense people, the stupid, wicked people, calling radio and talking about people lie when they say people fall down. Because they had to defend their leader and they had to defend their party. This isn't about defending your leader and defending your party. This is about preserving the lives of these people who are being affected by what has been done. So I listened to her interview with Senator Gloria Thomas. I hear, and nothing she say makes sense. Because how could you? First of all, they've been firing all the seed officers. Am I lying? Talking Points family, am I lying? They have been firing the seed officers throughout the island. In one or two constituencies, they may have retained a seed officer, but by and large, they have been firing the seed officers throughout the island. So the people who usually deal with seed, they have been sent home and new people have taken over. as late as in December, middle and towards the end of December, they've been sending home people who work in the seed program. So we have been seeing that happening. If I lie, tell me I lie. So how could you on the 20th of December stand up in the People's Parliament and make the statement that you're keeping the $120? And then before the 20th of the next month, whap, the money gone. And for it to be gone by the 20th of the next month means that by the beginning of this year, that decision was taken. Because you need a clear 2 weeks. That's how the Treasury works. You need a clear 2 weeks for that payment to go through. So it means that that decision was made and then implemented in time for the payment that came out on the 19th. And the people lost their $150, and now you come fumbling through and trying to blame Dr. Keith Mitchell. Hush all your mouth with that stupidness. Dr. Keith Mitchell is not the Prime Minister now. Oh, it was for 1 year. Dum. Every budget is for 1 year. How are you stupid, sir? Every budget is for 1 year. When the budget in 2022 was read in 2021, because you read this year's budget last year. At least that's what the New National Party used to do. And what this government has done, they did the budget at the end of the year for this year. So you budget, the money that you place there is for from the 1st of January to the 31st of December in everything. So to try to give the impression that there was some sort of sunset to this thing, because they're speaking about 2 different programs and trying to make it look as though it's one thing. There's the increase. The increase is the increase. And then there are the people that were added on to the list, right? The people that were added on to the list and provided seed, they qualified for seed, but there was not enough funding under there, so they were added on to the list as part of the stimulus package under CES and so. The 150 was separate to that. And when you heard various people speaking about that back in 2022 and 2021, they made that clear. And let's just say, be devil's advocate here and say, just in case that was even true, what is stopping you from putting the $150 there for these people? Why is it okay for you, who are already receiving over $7,000 a month, to take an additional $24,000 a year per person, $300,000 plus as a group, which you pay no tax on? It was okay for you to do that. Right? It was okay for you to do that, and you have your other perks and so, that you're giving yourself, your friends, and your family members. But while you're doing that, you're depriving the most vulnerable among us. You're making them destitute. This is unconscionable. And there is no excuse that you could make for it. Yeah, this nonsense about, oh, the seed officers were going around and telling people, and they were going and they were explaining to people. That's a lie. All your lie. If all you didn't lie, there would not have been that level of shock, frustration, anger, and buyer's remorse, especially the last one, buyer's remorse among those seed beneficiaries, to the point at which some of them wanted to riot. While you talk about what happened in Grenville Friday. There was no communication to the beneficiaries under the seed program. Let's just be clear on that. Last week, they played us sending out some kind of release and saying, well, they did inform people. If all they did inform people, they would have known. They would have known. Now you're running to do post-cab tomorrow, so suddenly it have things that you believe that the country should know. So, December, it had nothing to tell us. October, it had barely nothing to tell us. November, nothing. But all of a sudden now, all you find something to come and tell us. That is what has been happening here. And they're trying to weasel themselves out of it with all kind of nice language. And then they will come tomorrow and grin and smile to you and me to try to tell us that they deprive these vulnerable people for our interests. You ain't do it for my interest, Forget that. They ain't do it for my interest. They do it for their own selfish interests. It's wickedness. And to come and try to cover it up with lies now. There is no excuse for it. About, we were doing, what we were doing? We were doing a review of the program. And then we thought we'd get some savings because when we take out the people that die and who travel and so on, that there would be savings under the program. And then we'd be able to use those savings and continue the 150. Madam, you lie. You're looking for excuse. And then after she come and say that, trying to put the blame on the NNP. Oh, it was only supposed to be for a year. Every single budget is for a year. The budget is for the budgetary cycle, January 1st to December 31st. It didn't have money for it for this year. Stupidity. It can't have budget in it for money in that budget for 2023. The budget was for 2022. So any money you see budgeted there and any funds that were there to be used in that program would be geared towards the year 2022 from January 1st to December 31st. It was your responsibility as the government in power to ensure that A, you put funds aside to continue with the program as it is. Because the argument for adding the 150 was the inflation, the cost of living increase. The increase in gas price, the increase in food prices. And now added to that, as of next month, you have an increase in water rates, you have an increase in electricity, and we don't know what the 18th of next month is going to bring. If it's going to bring a further increase to the gas price, or the gas price is going to go down. And every single day, we're seeing an increase to the food prices. So you're seeing this. You yourself, your government, added an environmental levy to water, increase the price of sugar, increase the price of electricity. Your government do that as of February. And you're still, when you increasing things, which you could have keep at a certain level. You could have decided to keep it at a certain level. But you increased it. And you allow the food prices to continue to skyrocket. Because you say you could fix it. So I have to say it's you that allowing it to go there. If you said you could fix it, that is what you came to the Grenadian people and said. You could fix it. You're Mr. Fix It. But now you come and you take out the money from these people and then looking for excuse about who lie and who this and who that. Come on, man. Be realistic and be truthful. Stop trying to, cabinet conclusion. The cabinet conclusion is in relation to the CES program. It's two separate things, dum-dum. In fact, you know what? We're going to take a little while tonight and play something. It's a bit long. But I think it's necessary to play certain things tonight. Right? Let me make sure and get it queued up properly, right? Nice. Let me make sure I get that queued up properly.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
All right, so let me play something here for you. Now, on the 2nd of February, 2022, Miss Lenora George, who was I don't know if she still is, but in charge of the SEED program, she spoke on both the horizontal and vertical growth of the SEED program. You'd realize that the vertical is one thing. That's the 150. And you had the horizontal, which was the adding of people on a temporary basis, just for the period, onto the SEED program. So let's hear what Miss Lenora George had to say on the 2nd of February last year in relation to the SEED program, because they keep trying to give you the impression that this was temporary and that was temporary, and they had cabinet conclusion. Up to this day, they can't bring the Polish man cabinet conclusion where he say $200 and something thousand. Up to now, they can't put out that cabinet conclusion. They can't quote. Why did they quote that cabinet conclusion? The Prime Minister is going to be there tomorrow. My good friends in the media and even those that don't like me, ask him. Since they could have quote, because Senator the Honorable Gloria Thomas yesterday quoted the number of a cabinet conclusion. So I want them to quote and provide the cabinet conclusion in relation to the Polish man. You understand? And quoting a cabinet conclusion is one thing, showing the people what it says is another. That's what you had to do. So let's hear what Miss Lenora George had to say.
So we begin with the horizontal expansion, and that was part of the COVID-19 Economic Enhanced Support Program. And when I say horizontal expansion, that's where we added more persons. We expanded the program to add a lot more persons onto the program. And we had a plan as to how it should be done, because we had a number of applicants within our beneficiary management system who were awaiting enrollment. They were already assessed, but because of our budget, we were not able to enroll them. So this gave us the opportunity. So I must say, while COVID has presented for us severe challenges, it has provided some opportunities as well. So that's an opportunity here. So we looked at beneficiaries within or applicants within our MIS who are already assessed as vulnerable. We also looked at another category who were not considered vulnerable, but as a result of the impact of COVID, may have slipped into poverty. So this was another group or category we looked at, as well as we looked at new beneficiaries persons who lost employment or who lost, because we had quite a number of deaths. So families who lost persons and as a result became vulnerable. So these were categories of persons considered for the CESS program. And because we use our targeting tool on these households, they were classified and they were paid according to the classification. The grants were allotted based on the classification that these households were assessed as, whether they were GLCI 1. Let me say here, our GLCI tool classifies our applicants into 5 groups. GLCI 1, which is most vulnerable, GLCI 2, mid, GLCI 3, less vulnerable, okay, less deprived, 4, vulnerable, and 5, considered well-off. But then we know some of the well-off, they may have been considered well-off at the time of doing the application, but with the onset of COVID, could have slipped into most deprived. So, but I must say, we also have our internal auditing where we screen our households as well. So, some time was taken to visit these households to ensure that they are what our they reflect. So it was a process. And as I said, the grants were given allotted based on the classification. And it ranged from $450 to $200 per household.
So folks, what you're hearing there, she's speaking about the horizontal expansion. So when you hear these people talking about, oh, it was part of CESS and so, this is what she was talking about, because they've had several cases of people who got nothing. And these are the people who were brought in as part of the COVID relief and the stress. It's really stress and not CESS again. That is the new name for it, stress, not CESS. But CESS and so. So let's continue. As I told you, it's kind of long, but I think it's necessary for you to hear from the person who was in charge of the seed program at the point in time. Yeah? An explanation of the two separate things, the horizontal and the vertical. The vertical going up was the money going up, the amount of money that has to be paid under the seed program. Yeah? Nice. And not just for 2022. That is the amount of money that to be paid under the seed program. Full stop. Nice.
That's the CES grant per household, not individuals, per household, because we assess households. So to date, we have spent $2,300,000 in that expenditure. The total number of beneficiaries is 130. Yes. I didn't have it here. $2,030,300 in expenses since September. That program was launched and implemented from September of 2021. So that's for the horizontal expansion. So it means we have an additional 1,130 persons receiving the grant. So that's for the horizontal expansion.
Right, and you've heard us speaking about the horizontal expansion. You heard her mention the figures there, the 400, 200 and something, those kind of payments, not 150. And also mention that was under the CES. That is what was under the CES. Your cabinet conclusion will point to that. Yeah? That is what they're talking about, cabinet conclusion. Nice. So let's go on to the other aspect now.
Now for the vertical expansion, which began this year, January of this year, all our households received a $150, we can say a top-up in the grant. So while our maximum per household was $500, it's now $650 per maximum. What is important here is the number of households per target group that were impacted by this vertical expansion. So that's all those persons on our seed program in our MIS. We have 177 households that we considered as adult poor, in that these are unemployed persons seeking employment but have not been successful. We have the chronically ill, and we have a total of 882 households impacted.
So just know that 882 households that she just spoke about, each of them lose their $150 this winter, and that's with disabled people and so. All right? Or people with chronic illnesses who can't work. Nice. We're going forward again.
By the vertical expansion or the top-up. School-age children, very significant in our program. We have 2,440 households who were impacted. We have preschoolers, well, it's minimal, 12. We have the elderly, another significant group, and a huge chunk of that program as well, 2,181 households. We have elderlies in homes, and we have 32 such beneficiaries, and we have toddlers, the little ones. We have just 7. So we have a grand total of 5,995 households. However, the number of direct beneficiaries, I will like to highlight, because we have 8,000 within these 5,000 households. The direct beneficiaries is we have 8,014 direct beneficiaries within those 5,000 households who have been impacted by the vertical expansion. And I must say that our beneficiaries have been extremely grateful, because they have been, I should say, expressly grateful, because they have been reaching out to the seed officers. They have been visiting the sub-offices to say thanks very much for that increase. So I must again commend the government of Grenada for its continued commitment to our vulnerable community.
So as I said, it's clear there that you're speaking about two different things. You're speaking about a $150 increase to the seed, what existed all the time, the seed, $150 increase. And apart from that, you're speaking about a stimulus package where people who were unable to get on seed before because there were not enough funds to bring them in through the stimulus package, through CES, you were able to get these people on that program and provide finances to them up until the end of last year. But that doesn't speak to these elderly people, these 80-something-year-old people who are under the seed program for the last couple of years, or the disabled people. When they speak about people's means improving, how does a quadriplegic means improve? How does a person who about to take the age of 90, how does their situation improve? To the point of where you believe that it is okay to deprive them of this payment. And now, yeah, it forces all you out now while you're going and run before the cameras. I hope we have a fearless media in Grenada who would ask the questions that people really want asked. The same way that when the New National Party come out on a weekly basis, the media was allowed to ask different questions. Don't play all the way you want to answer questions and think, no, answer the questions. Because you've heard it. You've heard from, she's no longer with the program. I just see now that she let along and she's home. So Miss Leonora George, who was in charge of the seed program, you heard her specifically speak about the two aspects, the horizontal and the vertical. Yeah? Don't let them try that stupidness with you and try to give you the impression that, oh, this thing's supposed to end in December. All budget supposed to end December 31st. All. Because that is what you do the budget for. January 1st to December 31st. When you're doing the budget for the island of Grenada. It's been so since before Sir Eric Matthew Gary, and it's so right now. That is how you do a budget. The budget for your country, at least in Grenada's case, is done for from January 1st to December 31st. Let me use an example. If you receive funding to do a project such as, for instance, let's say you're going to build a sports facility in St. Patrick, and you receive $30 million. Now, you would see $30 million under the budget, but you may see $5 million. You may see $10 million budgeted for the year 2023. It means between January 1st and December 31st of 2023, you have $10 million to spend towards that program, even though the total cost is $30 million. And then, for the following year, you may see $15 million, because now you're into construction and so on. You've done your foundation and your basic work, and now you have to go up with your structure and you do your electrical and whatever technical work, and so you have to do. So you may see $15 for the next year, which means between January 1st and December 31st of that year is $15 million you had to spend. And then the following year, you may see the final $5 million, because then you just have to paint and do your final touches and so on and open the facility. So it is nonsense that you could be in office since June of last year, know of the seed program, know what's going on with the seed program, and still make no effort to ensure that you secure the finances for these elderly and these vulnerable people and these children. They make sure they secure their finances. They make sure theirs well secure. All you hear me? Them own so secure they don't even have to pay tax on it. You have to pay tax on yours, but they don't have to pay tax on theirs. They make sure that their salary is so secure that they don't have to pay any tax on the increase that they have taken. So know that each of them, that $24,000 additional a year that each of them getting, that they're not paying a cent tax on it. But they're depriving these people that you look at $150, they might have been going to buy some of the same sugar they raised the price on. Or had to pay the same water rate that they raised the price on. Or had to pay for the same electricity that they raised the price on. Now they have taken away some of their spending power and they think that's okay. So they have a set of people jumping on different radio stations, saying all kind of nasty things about people and attacking people. But you know, one of their own people said, you know, Mr. Philip Telesford, he made a statement in the parliament, and I tend to agree with him. He had the statement that he made in the parliament. I tend to agree with Mr. Philip Telesford when he made this statement in the budget debate.
If you have love and you won't share it, then you are disabled. And Mr. Speaker, if we have the means as a government to stand up, defend, and support our vulnerable citizens, and we fail to do it, then if you have love,
Let me make sure I have it properly here. Nice.
you are disabled. And Mr. Speaker, if we have the means as a government to stand up, defend, and support our vulnerable citizens, and we fail to do it, then, Mr. Speaker, we are all disabled.
Yeah, I agree with him. All of them disabled. Because they have the means. They have the ability. Yeah? They have the state power to empower these people. And they ain't doing it. And he said, if that is the case, well, they're disabled. Not me say so. I just go in by what Mr. Philip Telesford say. He said, if they have the ability to do it, and they don't do it, then they're disabled. So, I mean, not me say it. It's he say it, isn't it?
If you have love and you won't share it, then you are disabled. And Mr. Speaker, if we have the means as a government to stand up, defend, and support our vulnerable citizens, and we fail to do it, then, Mr. Speaker, we are all disabled.
Not me that say it. He that say it. Right? Nice. Folks, let's open the phone lines. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. You can call us direct or you can call us on the WhatsApp. And we'll also open the overseas line. That's 347-329-3101. Let me just make sure the lines are clear. Nice, yeah. So 347-329-3101. You can give us a call on either line. All right? Nice. And remember, you can call us on WhatsApp. So in case you don't have the credit, you want to call us on the WhatsApp, you can call us on 440-7377. All right? Nice. Beautiful. You know what, boy? I think I have a nice song there. I go run in the background still. Yeah, I'm looking for my bottle of water and I can't find it, yeah?
I am a Grenadian, yes man. Grenada, Grenada, the land where I was born. I know you were suffering. Men have raped you and abused you and left you there crying. I devote my part, my body and my soul.
And a reminder, tomorrow, let's go over it again, 7:45 on Rise and Shine on MTV. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell is going to be there. All right. So Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, former Prime Minister, political leader of the New National Party, and leader of His Majesty's opposition, will be on Rise and Shine tomorrow morning from 7:45, 7:45. All right. So he will be on there live. So you can tune in. All right. And then after that, at 9 a.m. on To The Point, right, we have Honorable Oliver Joseph. He is going to be there and he'll be speaking on several important issues. And you know, is a man that understands the economics, he understands various aspects of how the economy works. And he will be speaking on several things tomorrow. So that's at 9 a.m. on GBN. Yeah, they usually have it on GBN TV and GBN Radio and so on. Yeah, classic, nice. So Oliver Joseph, he will be on tomorrow at 9. Dr. Mitchell is on at 7:45 a.m. At 8 p.m., right here on Talking Points, we'll have Mr. Gregory Bowen, former Minister of Finance, former Minister of Works. Greg hold a real position already. He will be on with us on Talking Points, and we will be speaking about several of the things that we've spoken about before, but several things to come. All right? Nice. So he will be speaking with us tomorrow from 8 p.m. So remember that tomorrow night on Talking Points, we have Mr. Gregory Bowen will be on with us. Nice.
Never let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side, with my arms around you to wipe your weeping eyes. Let we go.
The main thing they need to understand is not the New National Party that went into Parliament and told people this is not the New National Party that went there.
To continue the vertical expansion of seed program, which was scheduled to end in December of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household. Madam President.
You all heard that, right? Yeah, let me make sure they hear that, because we know they're listening, we know they did. So since they did, let me make sure they hear it now.
That family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household, scheduled to end in December of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household.
Yeah,
Madam President, of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household.
Because that is what they said to the seed recipients. Now you're coming and say that the seed recipients, or they were informed and so on. If they were informed, then why all the hullabaloo? Number one, you could not have done a proper assessment because you were in the process of firing all the seed officers. And we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Let me just get the caller in. Good night to you.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
All right, you go right ahead.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon, that's a clip you played, Mr. Philip Teleford. I agree with him 100%.
But he said it disabled, so not me. He said.
Yeah, yes. I agree with him because they have the means, right? But they have no love, no care in the heart for people. So I consider the driver disabled, all the conductors disabled, right? Airline disabled because I cannot say okay, like a government, a cabinet, is not one person. I know they always say like that is a dictator, but that never go in a cabinet meeting. And what he say you want, he get it. He may throw it out and get the views. Which one comes with the best views, the best solution, they go with it. But it seems like only one man have that suggestion. And what the one man say goes. Nobody can go against it, right? And Brother Sheldon, what I'm saying, okay, they say okay, like the people life, if people life in better, but how could you live someone life better when you increase on water rate, you increase electricity bill, food stuff increase, everything going up. One thing going up, you get the spending power become less and less every day. Right? You leaving less money in the hand to spend. So when you go in the shop to purchase something, if you go with $100 to purchase half bag of thing, you might go $200 and you don't have it. So the life of the poor class people become much more difficult. Much more difficult. While you have those who hardly working and doing nothing, pressure the poor class people, they benefiting. Right? You don't work, you come in a trade, as that was said, you have to go in a trade school to learn, to know how to go about. Right? The first month you get a job. You cry, that money don't enough. You give yourself $2,000 more. On the salary you get when they put the traveling allowance. Plus the $600 you get it. The $600 they receive the minister receive for travel allowance. That's 2006. Right? You give yourself that. While the country going through a difficult time, price of things going up, and people spending power getting less because of living. While the youth should be adding more to the scene, adding more to the poor class of people who work in, either you send them home or you take out from what they supposed to get. And the senior citizen who built a foundation, a good foundation, a solid foundation to put greater where it is. Right? Now you're depriving people for having a better, for the life better, to be better. You deprive them and bring them back more to the doldrum. How could you be a government that say you care and you love and you want to take up people from poverty? Right? You're bringing them more and more to the gutter. Right? And if anyone have a heart of love, you should all reach out and help. You help people, seek the interests of people, because every government, the aim and desire is to make people life better, not to make people life more difficult than it was before. And I go say, Russia, that this is the first government that came into office that treating the poor class of people in that way. Even the Russian used to seek the interests of the poor class of people. One thing they used to do, if you say something and you go against it, they call a counter. So, Brother Sheldon, have a blessing.
Thank you very much, caller. And I think we have another caller online. Let me just make sure. Good night. Hello.
Scotty.
Hey, how you doing? Good night. Go right ahead. You're live.
Good. Yeah, well, it's very disgruntling to see what happened in Grenada right now. I'm on the outside looking in. It's really a mess. It's very displeasing even for the media houses, the various media houses. They're not properly covering the issues in the country. Mm-hmm. It's very appalling. And I'm wondering what's going on, because there are pertinent issues that are going on in the country and nobody seems to know what's going on. What's up with that?
But my brother...
There are many media houses and it's like they're just window glassing these issues, These are serious things.
When
crazy.
One media house brought the story in relation to the seed removal of the money they brought it on Friday. And you know what they did? they put up a big banner for the entire thing, temporary measure revoked. So in other words, they already hold aside. What the government is saying is true, and it was a temporary measure and it was revoked. And they didn't think of all the poor people out there that are suffering because of what has been done, you know. And then they take the same thing that I play with Miss Lenora George. They play a few seconds out there to give you the impression that that was the entire thing. The vertical thing was they didn't talk about the horizontal. They just talk about the vertical. That's why I play the whole thing tonight.
No. Exactly. You know, they're speaking about the 150 they removed from the 450. But they're not speaking about the 250. They ain't want to tell people they're giving them just $75, right?
Yeah, but that's what happening to a lot of people.
I listen across the various people I represent them to, and you know, even for their supporters, they withholding information from them, and I don't know what motivates people. I guess is loyalty to party, but they seem to support this stupidness. You know, you build your career on lambasting one individual and pushing hate. You know, pushing hate in the country is really a mess, man. And I hope that the way they're governing right now, they have monies to pay public servants in a few months to come. I just hope.
Well, my brother, that's the next one, because I listened to Sister Daisy Hazard and Brother Andre Lewis yesterday, and the future ain't looking too bright with some of them, eh? It ain't looking too bright.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the talk on the ground right now, Scotty. That's the talk on the ground right now. So I hope that's not the case. So let's see what's happening.
All right, my brother.
And have a good night.
Same to you. All right, folks, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Remember, you can call us on the WhatsApp or you can call us directly. And if you're in the U.S. and you want to call direct, you can call 347-329-3101. So you have that option to call that overseas line. That's 347-329-3101. You can call that number as well. Yeah, because remember, you have to remember too, that the attitude, the general attitude of some of these individuals is as such, you know, is this.
And handles not only relate to poor and vulnerable, but people of all walks of life. A friend of mine likes to say we have two kinds of people who tend to follow the other side, the needy and the greedy.
Folks, we have a call online. Good night. Hello. Hi, good night. You're live. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, my dear, you're live.
Am I on the Sheldon program?
Yes, you're live. Just talk to us on the phone line. We're hearing you. We're hearing you. You're live. Go ahead. Yeah, ignore the radio in the background. Speak to us on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hearing you. You're live. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. Sheldon, good night.
Good night, my dear.
It's time for we get up and do something. I think we need to come out and march on the street. All the people that fired, all the people money they had deduct, and all who feeling it. I think we need to come out and take the street. It's time for we to do something. Thank you.
All right, my dear. I really hope that it doesn't get to that stage. I really hope that good sense prevails and that this administration in office now returns that payment to these people. You can't be taking 1,000. You can't be taking 2,000. You can't be taking $24,000 a year, non-taxable for yourself, and then the person who can't even walk, a quadriplegic, they can't even do anything for themselves. People have to clean them, people have to bathe them, people have to cook and feed them, and you take that $150 away from them. You didn't even make 3 blasted months yet. You ain't past your probationary period in any job. But you watch it and you say, that money too look a bit for me. Over $7,000 a month, you know. That money too little bit for me. Let me add on it. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Good night, Miss Camille Teresa Scott.
Oh, yes, that's my name, you know. And Scott is a Scott.
Yeah, well, you
and
don't
I
know.
want to say good night to Mr. Watts and them in America and in Canada, Patty and Matthew, everybody. My children there in Baghdad listening because, you know, news go all over the world now. Technology. This is Mommy now and it's Mr. Scott.
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Tell on these people in Grenada. We divided, you know. Sharon, we divided. Because I see people like me and them is NDC supporters, friends for years. And the reason for me saying that is because I just speak out now. And I've been speaking out for years. These people, they hate me, you know. They hate me more than Kit Mitchell now. I'm telling you, every day somebody commenting me, every day somebody has to tell me something about me so good. But that makes me stronger. And as an NNP, I ain't going away. There is nothing these people could do to me, Camille. I'm a child of the king. And I'm speaking out with authority. I am not scared about the NDC supporters, ministers who are in cabinet. I'm not scared of y'all. I 66 years and I make my contribution in this country and all you can do me nothing. All you can only talk and all you can't touch me, Camille. You hear? And I will always say what I have to say. You all is hypocrite. This morning, an ex-teacher, Teacher Mary said, they lie in Thailand. Nobody will fall long.
She maybe was in all parts of Grenada, even when I went to Grenville.
I'm telling you what the lady say.
I heard her.
If I see somebody fall long, I will say yes, I see John fall long. I don't take no second-hand talk from nobody in Grenada. I tell me facts when I come on any media houses and speak. Don't underestimate Miss Camille Scott. Intelligent. You hear me? You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
And a little bad man and hypocrite. And I agree with the caller that say living abroad that speak about the media houses. In NNP time, all media houses to come out. And they used to question Dr. Kit Mitchell until one year addressing him and getting into his family business. And he said, don't go there. Where is she there now? She should be out there telling the people what's going on. And even the viewers that listening abroad because they have been listening to her years. And GBN will come out and say nothing.
No, but Camille, no. Hold on. Let me be fair here. GBN came out Friday night with a story on this. And I do not think that the person who did the story researched anything. They just went back the same audio that I played earlier of Miss Lenora George. They played that, but they only...
I didn't watch no news.
Hear what they do.
Watch no news Friday.
They put up temporary measure, and then they only play the parts on vertical. That's the only thing they do. Go ahead, Camille.
When I joke in my phone, I see Miss Hazard now from the union.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andre, how you name?
Andre Lewis. Yeah.
Andre Lewis tonight. And then somebody sent another thing for me where they're speaking about they don't like what they're doing to the Grenadian people. These are people that used to match. They used to match when Labor Day is what they didn't get on with. And they used to match and they want their money now. But I'm glad they come out and I want them to come out and speak more to defend the workers. The workers with all Grenadians. Even self-user Gary Wright and user anything, user NDC. Why are you hurting poor people that labor and sweat to build this country? The old people that build this country. You know what has hurt me again? And I want them to give me more fire. They could give me I go take it. The tourist boats and them that just come in. Is them that organize for this people to come in here now? 6 months, they didn't have for 6 months, And the tourist boats that come in, give what Caesar, due to Caesar, Sister Clarissa Modest, that did all the arrangement for the boats to come in. Dr. Kit Mitchell worked so hard, he and his whole team, to build Grenada, to help people, build roads, build schools, build houses. The construction work, all about this to have, when you go buy to buy a bag of cement, you couldn't get a bag. Because from the time postal order the cement, one people, the other people are taking it. Or you come talking about what I want to say. I don't want nothing, so I go to me. If in the jail, I go put me. And if I go in the jail, I know them prison officers of the taking good care of me.
You will get real prison bread?
We must, yes, I just buy the bread too. I just support them, I just buy me thing of them when you for the holiday. What I'm saying is, stop doing this because you are like children. I basic and that all of you all have children and family and mothers. And you have fathers, and you have aunts and brother and sister. If a piece of sickness take them and you say this has to suffer, you go ask, and you have all your money. Money? By what? Only be careful with what are you doing in Grenada.
All right, Gabby.
Only be careful what you're doing to the poor people because generation cost. Generation cost. I don't talking about my mama, I'm just showing all you. Generation cost. Are you bright? And you have all the better money and you will not be no use to y'all. Stop doing that to the poor people as me as a poor man. I was a homeless woman, you know. And under the NNP that take me from the gutter and I cannot be ungrateful. Have a good night, Sheldon.
All right, my love. Yes, that's Miss Kiami. Folks, 440-7377. You can call directly or you can call us on the WhatsApp using that number. Just some people wonder, you save the number to your phone and then you just look for it under WhatsApp. Wherever you save it as Talking Points, and you look under that and you're able to call us on the WhatsApp. All right? So you can call us on the WhatsApp using that number. Yeah, I tell you, and you know what? NNP used to tell all you about these people all the time. We used to tell you how they does think. We used to tell you how they does operate. You understand? It is not the first time that we come and we telling all you about these people. Let me play something for you. All you're going to hear. Because remember, it's the same political organization that take the old people water between 2008 and 2013, you know. It's the same administration that kick off a lot of these elder people from the assistance list. They was getting the local assistance. They say, oh no, you have children here and you have children there, or you have a nephew who living in Florida and this kind of thing, and they take these elder people off the list. I remember the case of a woman who was 78 years old at that time, and she was receiving the assistance with water, and they cut her off. They cut her off from the program. That is the same organization. That is the way that these individuals think, and there's a particular way that they perceive you and me. Yeah? Let's hear. Because NNP warned you before.
We continue to provide additional assistance, Mr. Speaker, in terms of this whole seed program. Over 400 families within the constituency are getting this seed, and over 50 families are already getting the CES, which is the stimulus program. And these people, Mr. Speaker, you cannot fool them. You can't fool the old people because you promised them before. You told them, vote for me. You'll get $400. You know what people died during that time, 2008 to 2013? Because you removed the money that they was getting to support themselves. Yet you're coming back now with all kind of gimmick and playing all kind of games, thinking that you are able to fool the people. Mr. Speaker, a blind man watching them, so he said, who is that? He asking them, who is that? Pretending, maybe, and I said, maybe he could see. When they say it's NDC, he said, no. I thought it was Sister Delma husband that day. I'll take out me money, $400. I didn't give me the $400. Mr. Speaker, they know who I'm talking about. The person who was involved in promising people at the time know what I'm talking about. When he was trying to get to people's house now, the old people are reminding them that you had promised me money before. And instead of I getting or continuing to get what I had before, you remove all the assistance that I had before, and so that they are not getting sidetracked.
So we were warned. We were warned. That was Sister Delma Thomas speaking at the budget debate in 2021. And she warned the last time the old people in Grenada trusted the NDC. We know how that turned out. They lost their money. Instead of getting money, they were removed from the list. Instead of getting an increase, they ain't get nothing. They were taken off the list. Instead of getting their water and something else, they take off their water and they kick them off totally. So this is nothing new. This is a behavior of the National Democratic Congress. This is the way that these individuals operate. That is, as they say, their operandi, their modus operandi. So it's nothing new. So you heard the sister speaking there. You heard a warning, Grenadians. Warning Grenadians to be careful with the NDC. Because this is the way that the NDC operates, and she said it in 2021, and you see it come to pass. You know how much elderly people been crying for the weekend? You know what is buyer's remorse? You buy something, it look nice, you ain't really think too much about it, you just find, boy, I like how that looking, and you buy it, and when you bring it home, you say, boy, I should not buy that, you know. You know, I don't really need that, but you know that ain't looking as good as I thought it was looking. I thought it would have looked better in the corner, but nah, I ain't like how that looking there, you know. But I can't bring it back, I buy it already and I have it here. It's a no return policy. That is what is happening to a lot of the elder people right now. Because they're coming out and they're telling you, you know, I vote for these people. I see a young lady in St. David. She was supporting the New National Party before. During the campaign, I realized, I started to see she put up she picture of the now Prime Minister. And then she started to, oh, well, time for NNP to go. And NNP must go. And NNP wicked. And NNP bad. She started to put up all she thing and she started to attack the New National Party. Me, I have nothing to tell her. Freedom of choice. Same young lady now when I see she posting, oh God, I vote out my work. How NDC wicked so? These people could never see God's face because I vote out my work. But we warn all you. You were warned, but we passed that stage now. We are to the stage of calling on this administration or this misadministration or maladministration to please the elder people, these elder people, please. And these people who are disabled and the children who have to go to school, oh God, put back the money for them now. Please. I'm begging, seriously, I'm begging on behalf of these people because I know some of them feel it. Over the weekend, I've been speaking to different people who can't buy cooking gas. Imagine a mother of 3 and you can't buy your cooking gas. Your gas done. You're not living in a place, you know when you're up countryside and your gas done. You get a 2 pieces of wood in the bush and thing and you throw the pot on some stone and you handle your business. But when you're living certain areas, especially when you're renting, you can't revert to that, you know. You can't pull a 3 stone and throw some firewood under that and say, well, or you think some coals and you throw a coal pot outside and you think, according to where you're living, you can't do it. And I'm seeing this young lady and struggling because she cannot afford to even buy a cooking gas because when she should have gotten $250 instead of that, what she got? $75. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hi, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Well, Ade, man.
All right, great. government is something, it's to govern. You don't experiment or you try a thing. Yeah? There is nothing like that, because the moment you do that, that means you weren't ready or you don't have no plans before you come into governance. Now, this is not disrespecting no one, right? But if you know you're going to work, based on the work you do, you plan accordingly. Okay? You don't go on when you go to work, well, what I have to do? What do you mean you have to do? You come to work, this is what you have to do. This is what you expect. So then you're thinking how you're going to approach it. You don't do that. Government is to govern. You have to have plans, you have to have people, you have to set up yourself towards the front line in advance. Yeah? And this is a very sad moment. It is a very sad moment. People need to understand this. And if you continue to do like this, the country will go downwards and go forward. Yeah?
Yeah.
You go downwards, it's going downwards. People get hypers, they say things out of the way, they do things out of the way, then you lose credit. Then you lose, your party or your government, everything just lose credibility. Why is like that? Prepare yourself in advance. Prepare yourself in advance. And this is not the first time. I mean, come on, we need to do better than this. We have to prepare ourselves, You're going to school, you have to have school books. If you're going to school and you don't have school books in your bag, what are you going to do? Yeah? It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense, my friend. I mean, you're just hurting people and you're damaging the country. And you're damaging the institution with whatever the institution you represent. And we don't want it. We want everybody to be successful. No matter who we are, what color, we want everybody to be successful, but approach it in a human manner. Let's wish everybody a success, okay, at the end of the day. But please don't do destructions. Have a blessed night.
All right, my brother. And I know this caller called before about an issue in relation to the roads. And remember, I am not saying that the roads in Grenada were perfect prior to June and the roads terrible now. I'm saying that the roads bad right now. We can't drive on the road last year, but we could drive on the road now, tomorrow, this week, next week. And the situation is becoming worse and worse and worse. That right now when you're driving, you have to kind of angle so, and angle so, and angle, and you're still ending up hitting a pothole no matter how much you try. It is becoming unbearable. And remember, with that said, that in the last budget for this budgetary cycle, they have actually put less money there for the asphalt. They've put less money for the repairing of the roads. At a state, you see the state of the roads all over. And imagine instead of putting more money there, to say, well, okay, we've put more money there, there's more money available, we could do more work on the roads, they put less money in the budget for the roads. And you're seeing the state of the roads around Grenada. You're seeing it. These people know what they're doing. 44073. I think I just missed a call there. 4407377. Remember, you can call on WhatsApp and you can call direct. Those of you outside of Grenada, you can call 347-329-3101. AC Major, good night to you. Kathy, good night to you. Zingo, Mr. Watts, good night to you. All right? Yeah. Patricia and Matthew out there in Canada. A special good night to both of you. All right, my good friend over in Tobago. I hear you linking up the program now, man. Special good night to you as well. All right, yeah, I just got a message out of St. John Day, and what that NDC supporter saying about the minister there, I can't repeat that in the program. Facebook might block me, and yeah, I mightn't be able to do program again after I say it. If I say what in that screenshot there, the response of an NDC supporter to how they have been treated by the MP for St. John, if I go to repeat that, I can't do the program again. The program will have to stop. Folks, 44073 4407377. Well, you know, they're done trying to shut down the program already, huh?
Every day, cost of living keep on rising. So could someone try and tell me what is happening? Because yet, them politicians keep preaching for the poor ones they are fighting, but not such a thing. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor ones gone. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the poor ones gone. And the wages, like it's missing.
And we have a call online. Good night.
Chevron.
Yes, my dear.
Don't say it. We need the program, boy. Don't say it, yes, son.
Can we?
At all.
I can't. Well,
No, you can't say it because you know that could be a trap.
no. It's the language. It's the language. I can't use that kind of language.
Don't say nothing. Leave them. Leave them. And the other man that talk, the man that just talk, he talk with a lot of passion. He touched my heart.
Yes,
he touched
indeed.
my heart. When I hear him speak, you know, he feel him as a Grenadian because people is suffering. And Mr. Scott, Grenada in darkness, so we need to pray. We need to pray. We're in darkness. You understand? A lot of people might not like to hear, they don't want to hear my voice, but I know. Grenada in darkness, we need to pray. You understand? Because a lot of supporters of the NDC tell themselves that everything will be all right with them. But it's a judgment. It's a judgment, Mr. Scott. We going through, and some just shame. Shame is a disgrace. When you understand me? It's shame to speak. But lately, I find a lot of people coming out now. They're speaking. They're calling programs, and you will hear them on the buses. You might hear them stand up waiting for a bus, and they're speaking. So at least they start to see the signs of the hard times are going to hit us here. We're in darkness, and we're not hearing none of the religious people coming out and speak, because we claim, Mr. Scott, to be a Christian nation. I just try. I'm trying. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. I just go to my father, but we're in darkness. It's just sad. And they're stiffening their neck. You understand? The other lady called, she said for people to come out. Come out and take the street. My food are good enough, but I will support. Because people is suffering and they don't want to hear that. At least some people getting the big money. We have to pay the water bill. We have to pay the cable bill. We have to pay for the gas. We that paying the tempo people. And they don't want nobody saying nothing. I am going to speak out. I've been around too long. From Gary time. I seen eyewitness and the carnage by Upper House when Mr. Bishop Father died. He had a strong heart and he had. So I will always speak out. This is my country. Because everybody's feeling it. Everybody. Well, the people are the bank that could push the card and a set of money fall out and they pick it up. You understand? They don't have a problem. But I'm talking about the poor class who's selling coconut like me. That who's selling green fig. Some of the people are in the Indian stores. What all you see hang up there is not mine. It's not mine, you know. What I have on the terminal there is not mine. Because I live in Grenada and I come out in America. Not mine. But I'm speaking about the market vendors. Some of the people are in the Indian store. Some are selling the little dollar juice and the tamarind ball. These are the people that feeling it and they're speaking. When man gets desperate, they'll do anything. If your mind idle, you do idle things, you know. Tell them have a good night. Don't call back.
All right, Kavi, you have a good one. It's 37 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. We're going up until the 10 o'clock hour. And we have a caller over on the WhatsApp. Good night, caller. Hello, good night. Caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
I'm only trying out my WhatsApp. I'm only trying it out, sweetheart.
Well, it's working.
Right.
And you're live, so it's working. All right. Yeah, that caller was just checking out the WhatsApp to make sure that it's working. All right. Yes, your WhatsApp is working, caller. Nice. Beautiful. 440-7377. You can call us on the WhatsApp. You can call us direct. You can call us also if you're in Canada, North America, 347-329-3101. All right, nice. Yeah, so I pull out old school for them here, man.
Because every day when I make a pass by the shop,
I have a request for a song, and somebody tell me there's a song that I had to play for a certain minister up north.
like a placement that believe, and I know they can break it, so they condemn it.
And we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Good night. Hello.
Hello, good night, sir.
Good night, my dear. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. What have voice song familiar so?
Sheldon.
I'm hearing you very well.
These people are them too wicked, man. They extra wicked, you know.
And you know
them what the
Go ahead.
Them what crucified Christ.
Them who nail him to the cross.
They over wicked, man. God will deal with them. Good night.
All right, my love. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. You can call on WhatsApp. You can call directly. And you can also call us on 347-329-3101. That's our overseas line. You can call us on that number as well. And we have a caller. Good night. Hello.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
How are you doing?
I'm quite fine. You just have to speak up a little bit first because hearing you kind of low.
You hear me better now?
Not so much better. And if I'm having problems hearing you, I know the callers are having problems hearing you. Let me try this. You go ahead. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm live?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Right. I heard a lady call on the radio this morning saying the money that the government took out from the people pension, the old people pension.
Mm-hmm.
This was an agreement that the previous government made for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out if that is true.
That is not the case. When you do a budget is always for 1 year. What they were supposed to do is when they did their budget, they're supposed to ensure that the funds are there to do it for 2023. They didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're saying, well, there's no money there for it again. Obviously, if you're budgeting for 2022 and you say, well, we're putting, let's say, $8 million there. That's for 2022. You don't expect to use that money in 2023. For 2023, you have to go back now, get your money and budget for 2023. And I mean, that is just plain common sense.
Okay.
And if they could find the time to give each of themselves $2,000 additional a month in less than 6 weeks of being in office, then why should they take away $150 from disabled people, elderly people, and little children?
Mm-hmm.
It matters not. Listen, this argument about, it was only for a year is absolute nonsense. And it's what we call in critical thinking a red herring. It's absolute nonsense. The bottom line is the cost of living continues to go up in Grenada. They have implemented measures that are going to increase the cost of living, such as they've increased the price of several items by increasing the price of sugar. They've increased the price of electricity. They've increased the price of water. All of these taking effect next month. Apart from you receiving 1% less of your salary that's going towards NIS, plus the cost of foodstuffs are going up because of what continues to happen in Ukraine and Russia. Baked goods like things made with flour, cricks, bread, cakes, all those things. The price of those things are going to go up. The price of dairy products are going to go up. So you have the cost of living keeps going up. It's not time to be taking out money. They should be adding on a 150 on the people money, not taking out. That's
And
what
the
should be
thing
taking
about it,
place.
everything, the cost of living is going up. Everything going up, but your salary is stagnant. Your salary freeze.
Well, they offer them what? 4% increase public
That's how we
workers.
broadcast.
4% and 1% and all kind of craziness. All right, caller.
All right then, take care.
Thank you very much. All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah. The bottom line is this: you in charge now. You in charge. So wait. So I have a troublesome child in a school, and I'm the new principal. I go in and say it's the last principal problem. That is he that caused that child to be like that, and therefore he responsible for it. No, I'm the principal. I have to deal with the child. I am the one that have to discipline and guide and direct that child. I can't go and say is the next principal. Everything trying to blame NNP, blame NNP, blame NNP. They lose funding for something. You're there for how much months? You had enough time to do the work that was necessary to save what you had to save or to ask for an extension. As all countries with common sense, with leaders with common sense, does do. All countries with leaders with common sense does do it. But then remember, the man say the disabled too, So I mean, you can't blame us for it. I'd say the disabled. But that is what happens. They keep blaming. Is NNP. You in power. You make the promise in Parliament. You made the promise in Parliament. You said you're leaving the money.
The government has decided to continue the vertical expansion of seed program, which was scheduled to end in December of this year. This therefore means that family will continue to receive the additional $150 per household.
Now, my other question here, and somebody just raised that with me on the WhatsApp. Question: the members of the transformation government that does not own a personal vehicle and are using government vehicles, what is the purpose of the travel allowance? And that's a good question, because we're seeing out there in Carriacou that Mr. Tevin Andrew using the government vehicle but still receiving the traveling allowance. And I see Mr. Andy Williams doing similar over here, using the government vehicle at times. So let's take this call. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon. Good night, my brother. How are you doing?
Good night, Pastor. How are you doing?
Doing good.
All right, you go right ahead.
I want Sister Kami to know that this religious minister here, she don't know the voice. But I've been calling on them to give the people back the money. Yeah? The other thing is, Scotty, I want to know, did the government budget for the repayment or the payment for the teachers who did not work? Where did they get the money from? The teachers, what they are calling docked salary, right? Where did they get the money from? Seeing that the previous government did not have any money put aside for that because the fact that they did not work, the government with the modesty know that they did not work, so they didn't supposed to get money, but this government find money for them. Where did they get the money from? My honest question.
Because they said when they got in there, they meet a lot of money. But then if you're going on trips, $500,000 in trips for who to go all over the place and all kind of thing, and what have they brought back? When you heard the budget presentation, and I know you paid attention, did you hear them saying that, oh, we went to this place and we secure funding, or we went to that place and we secure funding, or we attended this climate change meeting and we came back with a 10 million, a 20 million, a 30 million?
Never.
Yeah, but then when you hear the question asked of the Prime Minister about what was the highlight so far being the Prime Minister, he didn't say being able to ease the burden of several people or ease the suffering of several people. He didn't say being able to inspire people. He didn't say being able to be of service to his country. He said the most amazing thing since becoming prime minister is a lot of people just want to take out picture with him.
Oh boy. Really
Say he don't
sad.
say it now. Let one of them call and say he don't say it.
Watch me. The cost of living, as that caller just said, cost of living is rising so high. People's salary remains the same. Right now, if the government, if they were really thinking of what they were doing, or if they had planned to rule or to lead this country, they would have had, you know, plan A, plan B, plan C, for example, how we could better the livelihood of the people. The former administration, I mean, I want to ask Dr. Mitchell and the team how that happened, how really, I mean, they managed this country in the crisis. Every crisis that we've had in the past, they managed. They did not send home one worker, you know, like Barbados or St. Lucia or even St. Vincent, you know. They managed the country, they managed the economy. They listen, they had it well planned out because of the discipline. You know, they could take us up on that, you know, because they had an effective team monitoring the spending, monitoring the behavior of the government. And the reports came in that the government really had managed the economy in a disciplined manner. You hear it from the ECCB, you hear it from all the different financial institutions throughout the world. Grenada was a model. Grenada was a model. I wonder if they remember that when it was Ivan, they had asked Dr. Mitchell to send one of the ministers to really work out a plan or to help them understand how to manage a crisis, even in the pandemic, right? So and we sent home nobody. Everybody got salaries on time. I have seen this government laboring, working out how they could better the livelihood of the people. Right? The commerce was just right. The economy was just right. Yeah, the farmers of this nation, they plant crops. They manage the farm. This government saying that the government did nothing. But go back to the development bank and go back to all the different institutions where government had set up funding for the farmer, the small person in business to enhance and have their small business well taken care of. The fishermen, same thing. You know, only for the last time, a latter part of last year, when they had the problem in Gulf. Right, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
But the government has done the best. And I believe they got to get ready to come back and manage this country. Because I don't understand what's going on. So what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen in the next few months to come? Brother Scott, what's going to happen to these poor people? What is going to happen? And I believe much more persons will be going home soon. There are many more to go. Right?
Yes, indeed.
Grenadians, pray. Seek God. Pray for our leaders. Pray for them. Pray for them. Pray that there will be peace and tranquility in our country. I thank you, my brother.
All right, Pastor. Yes, indeed, folks. And we have roughly about 8 minutes remaining on tonight's program. I can't go too much over tonight for several reasons. I can't go too much over tonight. But yeah, 440-7377. You can get us on WhatsApp and you can get us directly on that number. You know, let me play something here. I had a little something here. I'm supposed to play since last time day, let me get the thing. Wait, do this thing go? Nice, right. I have it right here. Let me play that for you.
I'm concerned if by October, November, we don't have an arrangement where us as leaders in the OECS are prepared to do that, then it means that Grenada has to go and lease 2 planes so that we can fly between Grenada and Barbados, Grenada and Trinidad. We will have to do so.
5 months later.
But it requires cooperation from all the region, because you can't just fly between Grenada and Carriacou. You have to fly Barbados, St. Vincent, so you need all of the islands to take part. You need all of the islands to be prepared to give the airline operator the rights to fly into their country. And if you don't have those things in place, air travel isn't going to come now. But it requires regional cooperation. It's not something that an individual island can do alone. Even if we bought a plane, we need the rights to travel into other islands, right? And we don't have enough traffic. 100,000 people, we simply don't have enough traffic to maintain a commercial airline that just carries people.
Well, it's not we that was saying we want to buy a plane. You that say go in and buy a 2 plane and put out and all kind of thing, you know. You know, let me hear. The same government that take that $150 from the elderly. Let's hear what they had to say when they take a $2,000 for themselves.
Instead, we gave the ministers a $2,000 traveling allowance, which would allow them to, in fact, have gasoline and or a driver if they so choose. So those are the changes that have been made. And just to be clear, obviously, the Office of the Prime Minister, that traveling allowance does not apply to that office simply because state vehicles are provided for the Office of the Prime Minister.
You want to hear it again? Yeah. The same people who take $150 from each of you, all elderly, disabled, and from your children and so, yeah, those are you that really can't make it.
And instead, we gave the ministers a $2,000 traveling allowance, which would allow them to, in fact, have gasoline and or a driver if they so choose. So those are the changes that have been made. And just to be clear, obviously, the Office of the Prime Minister, that traveling allowance does not apply to that office simply because state vehicles are provided for the Office of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, state vehicles are provided for the Office of the Prime Minister, but I think I saw some pictures of one particular minister, I believe the one in the south, moving around with the government vehicle and so on, but he receiving a traveling allowance. The one in Carriacou, up, down, across in Carriacou, the only thing he can do is drive across from Carriacou to Petit Martinique because Winty didn't build the bridge. So he didn't drive across from Carriacou to Petit Martinique yet, but he's using a government vehicle. He's also getting a traveling allowance. Yeah, that's what happened. He's getting a traveling allowance. So if the Prime Minister is saying it's wrong, if you're getting a traveling allowance, because I could tell you this, and I could speak from personal experience, I, as a parliamentary secretary, back in the day, did not receive a traveling allowance until I had a vehicle. I get my little car, I had my little car, and then I started to receive a traveling allowance. Yeah? So, because I didn't have a personal vehicle. So, if you get my travel, where you gave me the traveling allowance for? It's for use with your vehicle. Yeah? So, oh gosh, people sending more info for me there. Oh gosh. I got to follow up on that information afterwards. Oh gosh. Oh no. Yeah? I'm seeing some kind of stories coming out of St. John's there and some of the people who was NDC and what they are saying now in relation to the MP. And I tell all you, the language used in it, I can't repeat it on air. I really can't repeat it on air. Right? So I'm still trying to figure out, how does the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, Tevin Ishmael Andrew, qualify receiving on a monthly basis the traveling allowance when he doesn't own a vehicle? How does he qualify that? Okay, it's been about how much months are that? 6 months, 5 months of him receiving a traveling allowance. That is what, about $10,000? $10,000 in traveling allowance and you don't have a vehicle. How does any of the others that don't have a vehicle? I wonder, does Mr. Redhead have a vehicle? Does Miss Corinne James have a vehicle? I don't know. But I'm just saying, I know in the case of Tevin Andrew, he's using the government vehicle left, right, and center. But so far, he should have received about $10,000 in traveling allowance. Entered. But according to what you heard the Prime Minister say a while ago, in that interview, he says, hey, me ain't taking no $2,000 extra, because I'm provided transportation by the state of Grenada. Yeah, you heard him say that. It's not me, just in case you didn't hear and you just joined.
And instead, we gave the ministers a $2,000 traveling allowance, which would allow them to, in fact, have gasoline and or a driver if they so choose. So those are the changes that have been made. And just to be clear, obviously, the Office of the Prime Minister, that traveling allowance does not apply to that office simply because state vehicles are provided for the Office of the Prime Minister.
So if that is the way that he's thinking about that, I wonder why Mr. Tevin Andrew is doing what he's doing. But then again, you understand the kind of people. Yeah, somebody said they wanted to hear the warning that NNP gave to the Grenadian people before about what the NDC does do to the elderly. So let me play that for you all. I want to play it for you all now.
We continue to provide additional assistance, Mr. Speaker, in terms of this whole seed program. Over 400 families within the constituency are getting this seed, and over 50 families are already getting the CES, which is the stimulus program. And these people, Mr. Speaker, you cannot fool them. You can't fool the old people because you promised them before. You told them, vote for me. You'll get $400. You know what people died during that time, 2008 to 2013? Because you removed the money that they was getting to support themselves. Yet you're coming back now with all kind of gimmick and playing all kind of games, thinking that you are able to fool the people. Mr. Speaker, a blind man watching them, so he said, who is that? He asking them, who is that? Pretending, maybe, and I said, maybe he could see. When they say NDC, he said, no. I thought it was Sister Delma, husband, that day. I'll take out my money, $400. I didn't give me the $400. Mr. Speaker, they know who I'm talking about. The person who was involved in promising people at the time know what I'm talking about. When he was trying to get to people's house now, the old people are reminding them that you had promised me money before. And instead of getting or continuing to get what I had before, you remove all the assistance that I had before, and so that they are not getting sidetracked.
Yes, indeed, folks. So you heard the warning. That was in 2021. And you see it come to pass first thing for 2023. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. As I said, I had to run off as soon as we're done tonight. Yeah, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you all. But before I go, I tell all you, somebody asked me to play a tune for a certain minister. They say that minister might be in St. Patrick's or wherever. They tell me to have a tune that they want me play tonight for a certain minister. So I play the tune. I know why they want me to play this tune for the minister, but they want me to play it. Folks, remember, tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m. on Meaningful Television, MTV, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be there, and he will be speaking on various issues from 7:45 tomorrow morning, right? That's going to be taking place on MTV. Then from 9 o'clock, Honorable Oliver Joseph, he is on To The Point on GBN. And then from 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Mr. Gregory Bowen, he will be on with us here on Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out. Let me run the tune, eh?
Plenty people go feel like crazy. I jam in Jonah and Emily. In the dance all are wailing. Anywhere in this country. In the dance all are whining. Anywhere in this country. Drunk and balling out one. Drunk and balling out one. Drunk and balling out one. Drunk and balling out one.